Hello, everyone, and welcome to FranTastic InSights. Our goal is to share information with you from some of the most innovative entrepreneurs providing great business opportunities through franchising. My name is Joan Winchester, and I am the Senior Vice President of Franchise Expansion for FranServe. FranServe is the world's largest franchise consulting organization. Our mission, quite simply, is to help change people's lives through franchise ownership. And we do that through an incredible network of franchisors and franchise consultants who help their candidates explore great opportunities like the one we have with us today. So today I'm really excited to have a brand that is a very fond, everyone today wants a coffee shop, right? Just seems to be a very warm and friendly and inviting opportunity. And we are so fortunate because today we have Ryan Stansbury with us, and Ryan is the Vice President of Franchise Development for PJ's Coffee. So welcome to FranTastic InSights, Ryan.
Thanks, Joan. Great to be here.
So before we get started, I would love to, if you could share with our audience a little bit about your background and what attracted you to PJ's Coffee.
Sure. Yeah, great question. So I actually got involved in franchising very early on in my professional career, essentially just out of college. So my senior year in college, I ended up pursuing a franchise opportunity as a franchisee. And my wife and I were multi-unit franchisees of a specific brand for several years, about 15 years. And actually, during the development of that first location, I ended up going to work for that company and spent several years with that organization, working with them in a number of different capacities, and really enjoyed that 9, almost 10-year period of time with them, taking a brand from about 50 locations to 400 across the United States and also about 8 different countries. So that started over 2 decades ago. And then in 2010, decided to make the shift over to the food and beverage industry, joining PJ's Coffee. So I've been with the company almost 14 years now. An almost similar story. We're not quite to 400 units yet, but I believe when I started, we were roughly around 50 units or so, and we're at 180 right now in 14 U.S. states and 2 international markets. So excited to be part of that growth.
Awesome. So, Ryan, it would be great if you could share with our audience, like what makes PJ's so unique, and then maybe talk a little bit about your role with the company.
Sure. In terms of what makes PJ's unique is there's really 3 areas of the business that we put tremendous focus on. One, it starts with the quality of our product. We take tremendous care in where we purchase our green beans, how we purchase those beans. We're very big on responsibly sourcing. All of it is 100% Arabica. It's the top tier, so the top 1-2%. So quality is a big piece of who we are in terms of procurement of our green beans. And then that transfers to the roasting techniques. We small batch roast our coffee, 300 pounds or less. This gives our chief roast master and team great control over those roast profiles. So that has a lot to do with ultimately what we are serving and selling our customers on a regular basis. So quality, and not only with our beverage program, but also with our food program. The second piece that we focus on has to do with the experience. And there's so many studies out there, Joan, that will indicate that consumers are sometimes more influenced by the experience than the product or service itself. So we do focus on that. And that experience has a lot to do with the engagement between our baristas and our customers, and really making them feel welcome, and to ensure that they experience that Southern hospitality. So the experience is really important and really big. And then also the third piece is getting involved in our communities, the communities that we serve on a regular basis. It's when we have surveyed Our customers, one of the top reasons they come to us is because we are locally owned and operated. And there's other big brands and companies out there that simply can't say that. So getting involved in our communities with churches, with healthcare facilities and educational institutions are really big influences on our business. So getting involved with those institutions, getting entrenched in the community and becoming part of it is really big. So that has really been the three key areas that we focused on as a brand. In terms of my role with the organization, it's recently evolved and has expanded. I'm excited about that. So there's two key areas of the business that I'm responsible for. One is the recruitment of franchisees. So we have a team of wonderful individuals that I have the pleasure of working with that introduce our brand to individuals seeking entrepreneurship. They take them through a qualification process. And then from there, these individuals who are interested in our brand begin going through a discovery process where they really begin to learn a lot about not only our brand and our system, but the opportunity to ensure that it's a good fit for them and to ensure that it's going to help them reach their goals. So the recruitment piece of the business is one area. The other is once we have a franchisee that's been awarded this opportunity, they then begin working with our development team. This has to do with the finance, real estate, design, and construction portion of the process. So we have folks that guide our franchisees through a very systematic and methodical process of securing financing, going through site identification, evaluation, lease negotiations, and then transitioning into the design and the permitting and the construction of our store. So essentially from that initial inquiry to the opening of the business, I'm responsible for those areas.
You're a busy guy.
Just a little
For
bit.
sure.
You know,
So,
it's what makes the job so enjoyable and easier to navigate is having a great team. And I'm blessed to work with some great people. So yeah.
yeah, it makes a huge difference for sure. So, Ryan, tell me, can you share with us a little bit about the qualities that you look for in a franchise owner and maybe the ideal candidate? And then do you offer any veterans incentives?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Really, really good question. So obviously the financial qualifications need to be met. So we look for minimums there in terms of cash requirements, 150,000 there, net worth of 500,000 as a minimum. So we're looking at those financial qualifications to ensure that they're being met. It's just obviously to ensure that they can make this type of investment, especially if they're pursuing some form of commercial lending. The other areas that we're looking at are going to be the individual's involvement in the business. This is really big for us to ensure that they're given an opportunity to learn the business and understand it inside and out. We want to make sure that they have an opportunity to build a great team, the team that's interacting with the customers. And we want to ensure that they also have an opportunity to get involved in their community. So a franchisee, an individual rather, who is looking to be actively involved in their business. Now, I don't mean that indefinitely. I mean that in the beginning. That first 6 to 12 months of operating is really that critical period to really build and develop in those respective areas. Generally, what we see, Joan, after that time is the business becomes a little bit more mature. You've had that opportunity to learn it. The team is more developed. You've established the relationships with the community. Now, what we often see is the franchisee is then promoting someone into more of that management role to take on that day-to-day. That allows the owners to then start working not in, but more on the business. Also, about 50%, just under 50% of our franchisees are multi-unit. So it affords them the ability to expand and grow, go open that second, third or so location. So active involvement is really, really important for us. And we're looking for someone who is understands what franchising really means, right? We're providing a framework, we're providing a system and a lot of tools and guidelines on how to go out and successfully run a business and how to operate in this space of gourmet coffee. So understanding that. And what I mean more specifically about that is not every entrepreneur makes for a good franchisee. And that doesn't mean that they're bad individuals, and it doesn't mean that they're not going to be successful in whatever their future endeavors mean. It just that perhaps franchising in PJs may not be the best fit for them. So we look for the financial piece. We look to ensure that they plan to be actively involved in the business. And we also want to ensure that that they understand how franchising works. In terms of discounts for veterans, we have a number of executives on our team who are veterans. So this is a very big piece of our organization that we're really proud of. So there's ongoing, we do a 20% discount off of the initial franchise fee. And then the other thing that we're really proud of, we've been doing this for several years, is a veteran license giveaway. So essentially, we do a competition every year that allows veterans to enroll and participate in this competition where they go through a process. They submit a video explaining why they believe they would be a great franchisee and their experience and how that's going to contribute to them being a great franchisee. They go through some additional interviews, and then we ultimately award one of these individuals a franchise, and we completely waive that initial franchise fee.
Love that. That is awesome.
Yes.
That's like so cool. So thanks for sharing that. That's a great incentive, certainly for veterans. So we,
Absolutely.
like you at FranServe, we love franchising, right? I mean, we've actually trademarked our tagline, franchising is our superpower. I mean, what could be more rewarding than helping people change their lives through franchise ownership? I mean, many people think about it, but franchising can actually make that a reality. So in what ways is PJ's a stronger choice today in franchising than ever before?
Yeah, I think it starts with our industry. We are in an incredibly strong industry that's been around for a very long time, right? This is not something new. This is not a trend. This is not a fad. This is part of a lot of individuals' lives. It is the second largest traded commodity, second only to crude oil, $100 billion a year industry. We continue to see growth year over year, more and more demand for the product. The other thing that's really nice too, Joan, is it's a very resilient and a very stable industry. When we often go through some challenging times, whatever it may be, more recently this pandemic, we're still seeing significant growth at our store level. For example, in 2020, the onset of the pandemic, our stores with drive-thrus were up almost 12%. So it shows that there's just incredible demand for this product. So strong, growing, resilient industry is really what it's all about. And then it's how we're positioned in the industry, right? We talked earlier about where we feel that we have our strength in terms of the quality of our offering and the hospitality and the experience piece of it, and the locally owned and operated business affording our franchisees to become entrenched and involved in their community.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing that.
Absolutely.
What a rewarding role you and PJ's play, and you're certainly impacting hundreds of people's lives and their families too.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, so thank you for that. So, Brian, before we wrap up today, any last thoughts you want to share?
Yeah, I think, it's an exciting time, as I mentioned, for the brand. We have 180 locations that are operating right now. We have about 100 to 110 in various stages of development. So there's tremendous growth. This year alone, of that 100, will probably open 40 plus. So we're really excited about our growth. And, with anything with growth, you need to ensure that the organization is built to support that growth. And I'm excited to see that our company, all the way up to our ownership, is investing in the infrastructure of our company to ensure that we have the individuals in the appropriate roles to support our franchisees from the location development standpoint, from an operational standpoint, and also from a marketing standpoint. So we want to continue to grow strategically, methodically, so that we can well position franchisees in their markets to be successful.
Great. Very buttoned up. Thanks so much for sharing with us today and participating with us in this FranTastic Insight. So thanks, Ryan. Thanks, listeners.
Thank you.